Hello, guys. The Melon Man here. Just finishing off my morning uh, personal training and coaching customers. And I am just getting online now to have a online chat with a gentleman by the name of Freddy. Freddy Shalene, I've never spoken with before. I've just met up with him online, and he has. I've noticed him commenting on my posts, so I know he's been interacting with me over the past year and a half, while I have been um, critiquing, sharing, recording my personal experiences with raw natural healing. And my personal experience is that everything in the body can be healed. All things can heal. That's my experience. That's my opinion. Of course, it is impossible to heal or change anything that you don't believe is possible. So, in order to heal your body, you'd, of course, first of all, need to believe that that is possible. So, there will be no healing or changing for anyone that doesn't believe that it's possible. And if you don't believe it's possible, but you want to heal yourself, then you would have to do the work required to change your mind. And, people say, how do you change your mind? How do you change your mind? It's a reprogramming. It's opening yourself up to new information and ideas. It's not saying, oh, that's not true, and oh, that's impossible, or oh, my doctor said, or oh, so-and-so said. It's not about that. As long as you continue to do that, then that will continue to be your roadblock. And that is your choice, right? We all have a choice, right? Before the first breath, before the first heartbeat was the first choice, right? So we chose first to incarnate into three-dimensional physical reality. Because at our origin, in our origin, we all arise from the same place. All comes from the field. Quantum mechanics, all arises from the field, right? The first spiritual, natural law, all arises from all. The all is in all. The universe is mental, right? Existing in the mind of creation, existing in the mind of the creator. Just as it is below, so it is above. On the earth plane, in the three-dimensional plane, in order to manifest anything into reality, in order to create anything in your life, health, wealth, happiness, loving relationships, whatever it is you want to create in your life, you must intend it into reality. Just the same here as it is over there, right? As below, so above. There are three planes of existence. There is the physical plane, there is the mental plane, there is the spirit plane. As below, so above, as below, as within, so without. Here we go. We've got Freddy here. Nice. My first time having a chat with you, Freddy. How are you doing, my brother? Can you hear me? Let's see. Can you hear me? There is a often in the bottom left-hand corner of
Hi.
your. Hello?
Yes, now I hear you.
All right.
How are you?
Brilliant. I am well, sir. I am well.
Yeah, you look well.
Thank
You
you.
look
Thank you.
shiny. You glowing.
Glowing. Yeah. You know, I have noticed that my skin has really picked up just specifically even more this week. I really noticed a lot of change as I have let go of some psychological baggage that was holding me back. So
What?
I can really feel and see that change happening inside of me.
Impressive.
Yeah.
May I ask you what kind of emotions you let go of, or is it too personal?
Emotions of worry, emotions of stress, emotions of fear, um, low frequency vibration emotions, heavy shadow emotion. You know, this is
Yeah.
it. You know, as we heal our bodies, as I've been sharing for the last 3 years, is that, you know, as we move through the process of cleansing the body, and that is, you know, a movement process, that's a nutritional change process, that's a change in thought and word and action, and that is an introduction and an amplification of depth of meditation. That when you work through this process, you raise your frequency and vibration, and things start to leave the body because there are things in us that are of low frequency and low vibration, and they pull down our health. And as
Yeah.
we start to pick up our health with exercise, high energy foods, emptiness, changing our thought, word, and action, as we start spending more time in meditation where the physical meets the spiritual, the
Mm.
lower frequency vibration entity, the physical self, the physical body has time to connect and interact with the higher frequency body, the higher self, the spirit body. And that's what happens in meditation. When we get focused on the breath, we let go of thought, we leave the breath because the spirit body is not inside the mind, it's not inside the box, it's outside the box, right? And that's what we got to do. We got to step outside the box. This is what people are talking about. We got to work smarter, not harder. It's all in alignment with healing entire body and life.
Yeah. That's what I'm connecting also. But I haven't pushed through from the fears and worries. I still struggle with it. I feel that I'm not knowing which path I'm gonna head on. You know,
It
so it's
happens.
really
It happens
confusing.
as we go. Now, how long have you been working through the detoxification process now, Freddy?
About 2 years.
2 years, right? So I'm just
Uh,
slightly ahead of you there. I'm about 3 years. Maybe
but I
maybe
made.
a year ahead of on you. How old are you, Freddie?
I'm 38.
38. Okay, so I'm turning 48 this year. Are you married or kids?
No, no, I'm single. As I woke up in 2012, 11, 12, everything just I didn't know what to do because
As we awaken, as our frequency starts to lift and change, things tend to fall away. And it's
yes,
harder to hold things together because you've changed your frequency and vibration. So things that were manifest and collected to your past frequency and vibration now are
mm,
no longer attracted to that anymore. And now, in order to hold on to those things, it takes a lot of change of effort.
exactly. Yeah, everything happens for a purpose and for a reason. But the thing is that everything fell apart, and I didn't know who to ask. I
Yes,
spent like 5 or 6 years searching on YouTube. Oh,
exactly.
I felt so
Yes.
lost.
So
But now
normal,
I'm,
Freddy.
yeah.
So normal.
But
And you know what? Just because I'm 10 years older too, and I was married and I have 3 kids, so it's just more. My wife was my business partner, so it's just more reason to have to work it out. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
as
yeah,
you're just more deeply connected and rooted into your physical reality, you have more reason to need to work these things out and through, right? So, and for whatever
yeah,
reason, like you said, things happen for whatever reason in everybody's life at certain times.
mm,
And, it's not right or wrong. It just is. And
yes,
we need to learn from it. And
mm,
we need to overcome it and move beyond it and come to peace and terms with it and embrace it.
yeah, yeah. Accepting what is and what was, so you can go forward. But
Yeah.
I wonder what made you what you told me 3 years ago you just woke up. Uh, I believe you've been a life coach or health coach for 20 years or so.
Yeah. 30 years I've been coaching. Yeah.
30 years, yeah. So it took you a while before you arrived at this what you say, before you arrived at this point of view, you know?
Oh, it's been an evolution for sure. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that at 27, which is now 20 years ago, I had like a spiritual awakening,
Ah,
a
yeah.
very intense spiritual awakening 20 years ago. And so I was already meditating and playing with that, reading consciousness books and works and efforts for quite some time and exploring. But I was so deeply entrenched in bodybuilding
Mm,
that I was very much attached to my size, my physical size,
mm,
lifting a lot of weight, carrying a lot of physical body. And I had anabolic hormone addictions that I had to get off of, stimulant addictions that I had to come through, food addictions that I had to get over, mental science-based
yeah.
protein, vitamins, minerals, omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, all this stuff that I needed to have this body, or so I thought,
The
and so
programs.
attached to this physical body that I am this body and I need to be this, big gargantuan guy. And I had to kind of unravel that. So although I was spiritually awakened 20 years ago, it took 17 years for that to kind of come to like my change of food,
Mm,
like get off of the
yeah.
animal protein, get off of that idea, that broken
Mm,
idea that I can't be without this, or I can't be without that, or I'm not good if I don't do this, or I'm not good if I don't do that. And of course, also too, you know, we get programmed in life and
mm,
we fall into things. So, you're supposed to have a girlfriend. You're supposed to get married. You're supposed to be committed. And I went through that whole thing, and then got to the point where I'm like, okay, now I've got 3 kids and I've got a job, and where's joy?
exactly. Where
Where's
is
joy?
joy?
Where's joy? Where's
Yeah.
the real joy in life? Because I did what I was supposed to. I got the job. I built the business. I got the family. I got the car. I got the house on the right space. And I got to this and I did that.
Mm,
Where's the joy?
yeah.
Right?
I felt the same. But do you feel now that you have what do you call it? Reunite? Is it the correct name? Name for it?
Reconnected.
Yeah,
Reconnected. Found
reconnected.
found that inner joy, found where it is, what it feels like, identified with it. And that's what happens as we move through the process. It's an awakening process that we do when we start fasting. It starts even before, just with thought, because for many years I was working on spiritual thought, but I wasn't ready to do the nutritional bit. And the nutritional bit's huge. Until you change your intention to come to the space of this, that, people are living in this sort of world where I'm the human, the most evolved being on this planet. So if I need to eat meat, I get to eat meat. If I want, the Bible says that I'm allowed to eat any animal on this planet, and I'm allowed to do this. And as long as you maintain this idea that you are superior to everything else, you can go so far with your life with this idea. And then when you take a greater idea where you're like, I am a part of a whole, I'm a part of this global economy, I'm a part of this global society, I'm a part of this global experience, and I'm in sync with it. Just like the tides change, just like the moon changes, just like the seasons change, I am a part of a greater scheme. And I am a part of humanity, and humanity is a oneness. A oneness.
Yes.
This is a greater idea, a greater conceptual, spiritual conception than I am the greatest being and anything that I want can be mine. This is a different intent. This is when you stop eating meat. This is when I don't need something from outside of myself to fulfill me. That the power of my universe is within me, and it's so much more powerful than chicken or fish or gravy. And if I can find that power inside of me, that I'm playing with a power and connecting with a power that can change anything I want to in my life.
Yeah, by changing your thinking,
your mindset, to adopt a greater worldview and understand that you are a part of a greater worldview. And you can't do it with a small worldview. You've got to grow spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically in order to change and heal your life.
That's the interesting part. You mentioned growth physically. I have spoken with you before about this. The nutrition, if one needs to gain muscles and grow, how is this possible with, can one only think about, I want to grow 20 kilos? Is that enough? Or do I have to eat like an ox?
This is an excellent one because vegan bodybuilding is very popular. It's very trendy. So it's a big question. But first of all, what you're talking about, needing or wanting to be 20 pounds bigger, and I have been 50, 60, 70 pounds heavier than this, 80 pounds, 90 pounds heavier than I am right now. So I've been that huge man.
The thing is, if I'm going to inspire others to walk my path, I need to be at my optimal physical shape and mental shape and emotional shape and spiritual shape, because if I'm not the energy that could inspire others, then I'm like a light bulb that aren't on the highest fuse, highest fuse. Does it make sense?
That's right. So if you appear to be muscular and lean, then you attract more people. Like if everything's together in your body and life, then you attract more people. Right.
Okay.
So I understand what you're talking about. And I want you to understand something too. I do understand that completely, right? And I have been 70, 80, 90 pounds bigger than I am because of the exact same thought patterns that you were talking about right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because I thought if I was bigger and more of a body, that I would attract more people to my business and to my worth and my self-worth, and I would attract more people to whatever it is I was trying to get them to help them to do. But this is a problem right here, is that I'm thinking right now, if that's what you're saying, that I am not enough.
Exactly.
Right.
It's
so
not about the doing, it's about the being.
As long as you think you are not enough, then you will maintain that you are not enough. So you have got to change that thought.
Yes. Correct.
That thought needs to go. That I need to be something in order to. That's a whole broken
I need to
thought
feel.
That's got to go. Okay.
I need to feel whole before.
You are whole, and you need to get to whole before you'll be influencing anyone. And your greatest influence won't be 20 pounds. It's the same thing. My greatest influence I'll be greater if I eat chicken, or I'll be greater if I use the power of the universe. Which one? Right? I'll be greater if I gain 20 pounds of solid muscle, or I'll gain more. I'll be greater if I connect to the brightest light that is within me.
Yeah, but I'm doing sorry. Yeah. I'm doing the work, the breath work and the meditation, and I eat raw food. I'm not eating cooked foods anymore. I'm very aware of thoughts and emotions. But the thing is, I wanna step into the energy, so I can attract the energy that I would like to attract, and I could start moving
so
business
now, in order
towards
to
me.
step into the energy, you need to be 20 pounds bigger.
I need to, yeah, maybe, maybe not,
really?
but I need to be in the energy.
20 pounds bigger to step into
No.
That's right.
No,
it's
but
broken.
Yeah, but
it's a broken idea that has to go.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm gonna. Yeah, but
that's holding you back. You have to change it inside of your head because it's blocking you.
Yes.
It's blocking you. It's got to go. Okay. And that's just what it is. The whole process of moving to the detoxification process is finding these broken ideas inside of myself that must be fixed. I am enough. I am enough.
Yes.
Okay? And what I need will be provided. If I need to be 20 pounds bigger, I'll get there. I'll be there. If I need to be anything else, I'll get it because I am enough. Do you see that?
Yes.
Do you see that?
Yeah,
Do you see how certain I am of that?
Yeah.
See what's missing? It's not about 20 pounds. It's a fucking decision.
Yes.
You need to make a decision. You need to make more decisions. So what you said, I'm not eating cooked food. I'm not eating raw food. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. It's not about doing things.
It's about being.
Changing the mind. Okay?
Yeah.
Doing things is a part of finding the incorrect thought. But once we find the incorrect thought, we must remove them.
But how do you remove them?
And until they're removed, they will block you from moving forward. The removal process has 4 aspects to it. 1, exercise. Now, if you are over-exercising, sometimes you can overdo it with your exercise. Okay? So it could be that at this point, you may need to back off on exercise. Now, I haven't spoken to you about this before, Freddy. I'm only saying this because you're telling me that you need to be 20 pounds bigger than you are. Because you're telling me that, I'm jumping to a conclusion that I normally see when people talk to me the way you talk. So I could be wrong. But most people that talk to me the way you're talking to me right now tend to be the type of person that is fiending trying to build muscle. Now, if you've been fiending trying to build muscle for 5 or 10 years, it may be time for you to just let go of that and recognize that you are who you are, whether or not you build muscle.
Of course.
Okay, so I don't know where you're at with that. That would take a whole, exploration into your past. However, if you're at a place where you've been thinking that you need to be more than what you are in order to get the power that you need to manifest what you want in your life, if you've been thinking that for any length of time, which most people that talk like that have been, then it may be time that you back down on your strength training and move to like yoga or like walking or like jogging for a period of time and slow down. You may need that. But exercise is a part of it, of your healing. Not too much exercise, but exercise is a part of it. Not heavy strength training. That is not the way to heal and change your body and life. Nutrition, yes. You do need to move toward raw foods. You do need to extend your fast time. If you really want to heal, you're going to have to start doing some really extended fasts. If you're talking about reaching your absolute maximum potential, you're going to have to do some lengthier fasts. And when I say lengthier, I mean 3, 4, 5 days, probably. Okay?
I made it. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I made a 21 day fast about a year ago. But I think I weren't in that position mentally. I knew that the conclusion was in fasting, but the answer was in fasting. But I think I weren't mentally prepared for it, so I jumped into something not prepared for it. So I think it just made me not centered,
It can separate you a little bit. Yes, yeah, because when you fast like that, which is fantastic, congratulations, much longer than I've ever gone empty. Bravo. But when we fast like that, we connect to that inner energy, right? So that fasting is important because you have to learn how to connect to that energy. You have to learn how to recognize that energy. You have to know how to feel that energy. You have to learn how to differentiate between that energy and the energy that you've become accustomed to up until this point in your life. Because up until this point in your life, you've been existing and living on the energy of food, the energy of coffee, the energy of your paycheck, the energy of sexual interaction, the energy of getting something from outside of yourself. This is the energy that the entire three-dimensional world is trapped in. Whether it's coffee or alcohol or sex or money or shopping or vacations or this is, getting food, energy, something from outside of me to be whole. Now, when you go through the fasting process, you haven't got any energy coming in. So you have to find that energy within. So the fasting process is a part of healing because you need to identify with the inner source energy. You've got to get empty in order to get accustomed to it. But I really like the shorter term fast, especially for someone just getting started. 1, 2, 3 days, 4, 5 days maximum. Because what you need to do is you need to get used to this. You need to get used to it coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. Every time you go through this, I don't have energy from outside. I do have energy from outside. I don't have energy from outside. I do have energy from outside. Once you get used to that shift, because it's not all one way or all the other. The spiritual laws of the universe talk about the law of rhythm. It's both. The spiritual laws talk about duality, polarity, yin and yang, two opposite forces, okay? Feminine and masculine, two identical forces are here on the planet. So you cannot just jump onto one side and believe that you've got the answer because you're just going to go empty. That's going to be like, I'm all yin or I'm all yang energy. I'm tipping myself over to the other side, which is great because the planet has got us tipped over to the physical side only, drugs and sex and food and coffee and alcohol and processed foods. That's how we're getting our energy now. It's great to go the other way and recognize the other side. However, it's not that we need to now live on the other side. Ultimately, what we need to do is we need to mend both sides together. The shadow and the light have to come together. That's how you come together. Not just avoiding everything. That's not how you do it. Okay? That's how we identify with the source energy, by emptying the self out, by fasting. But by putting it back in again and then stepping out and putting it back in again and stepping out, we learn how to interact with it in and out and in and out. And as we practice this skill of in and out and in and out, we start to identify the true energy that's within me, whether I eat or I don't, whether I work out or I don't, whether I fuck or I don't. It's in me, whatever I do. You have to identify and find that energy.
Exactly.
Okay? So you're going to find it by going in and out and moving through the process. You'll get a greater identification with that source within you. Once you've identified that energy and you know it and you feel it and you know how to lift it, now it's about building the energy. Now it's not about eating or not eating. Now it's not about getting or not getting. Now it's not about being big or not being big. Now it's not about getting a paycheck or not. It's about building the energy. Once I learn how to find and identify and build the energy, it becomes about the energy. It's not about the food anymore. Do you understand? This takes
of course.
time. This takes practice. Okay? It's
Yeah.
about elevating our frequency, elevating our energetic space.
But are you having? Is it easy for you to stay in the present moment?
It's all about staying in the present moment.
Yes, but do you find it easier nowadays to be in the present moment, or are you still concerning about the future?
You become constantly in the present moment. You learn how to be in the present moment all the time.
Great.
That's what happens. As you get fully healed, you come into the present more and more and more and more and more until there's a complete merger between the power within you and the present moment. Then you are a spirit interacting with life. That every single thing that comes into your life, you are loving. You are meeting with love. You are in complete
yeah. But how do you? I know you're an entrepreneur and you have everything by your what's called schedule. But how do you work with rest of society? Because they are in another world.
That's the trick. Now,
I haven't figured that shit out yet.
Here's the thing. And this is it. You know, you have your relationship, which tends to fall apart when you start to change your frequency, right? You have your relationships. I have my relationship with my wife. I have my relationship with my 3 kids. I got my relationship with my clients. In any given moment, I've got 3 to 5 people around me in a personal training session for 30 minutes, and then another 3 to 5 people. You know, people are talking to me online. People are talking to me on Facebook. I'm interacting with people all over, all around me, all the time. Now,
Yeah.
the thing is that at the start, especially when you start to become aware of this inner source energy that starts to rise up in your life, you fall into it and you fall out of it. You fall into it and you fall out of it. And it's very painfully upsetting every time you get into it. You're like, wow, yeah, I'm surfing. And then all of a sudden you're out of it again. And then, yeah, I found it. And then you're out of it again. And that's how it goes. That's how it goes until you get better and better and better at it. Now, as you really start to identify that inner source energy from moving through the process and intending it and asking for it, because as you ask, it will be given. As you seek, you shall find, right? Because all comes from the space, the quantum field. Everything is spirit and manifest in physical form. It's all the same stuff. So if I start thinking and speaking about this, then that starts coming into my reality. If I start thinking and speaking about what I want this, then that starts coming into my reality. So I got to start thinking and talking about it, and I got to start imagining it inside of me. So I got to start imagining inside of me, I am love. I am courage. I am wisdom. I am safe. Right? So I need to say these things inside, but not only say them, feel them.
Yeah.
Imagine them. Okay? Like really come to the energy of that. So if I am love, then I can feel love right now. And if you can't feel love right now, then you need to use your imagination. You have to think, what would it feel like if I was filled with love right now? Imagine it.
Embody it.
Spend time imagining it. Spend time imagining it, right? So that's how we lift up our energy and get more in contact with that part of ourselves. But it's also to manage the shadow, because the shadow energy is bringing us down. Now, it has to be let go of. It has to be free. We all have it, okay? We've all got shadow energy. It's trapped in our body. It might be in your neck. It might be in your shoulders. It might be in your neck and your shoulders and your lower back and your knee and your hip and your back. Now, as you detoxify, you'll find those aches and pains start to go away. But it's not only to remove the physical toxins, because there's a physical aspect to it always. There's also an emotional aspect to it. So when you get eating the incorrect foods for a lifetime, 25, 30, 40, 50 years of eating improper nutrition, which we've all done, if we've been doing that for 20, 30 years, we've got physical things inside of our body that need to come out. There's got to be physical detoxification. We've got to get chemicals out. We've got to get drugs out. We've got to get bad habits out. Behavior and shit got to come out of our life. And it's not going to happen overnight. We've got to slowly let go of it. And it'll come back. And we got to slowly let go of it. And it'll come back. You got to, but it's this in and out of it that we got to learn how to get better and better and better as we go. Right? But as we desensitize ourselves from it, as we separate ourselves from those things, then the emotional stuff may come up. Because like I said, once we get the chemicals out, once we get the physical toxins out, any physical injury inside of us collects shadow energy. So if you've been eating poor foods for 20, 30, 40 years like everybody has, your digestive system is swollen. Your internal organs are injured. Your stomach is broken. Your intestines are broken. The bacteria is broken. If you've been drinking tap water for a lifetime, all that chlorine in your body, chlorine goes in the swimming pool to kill bacteria. It's killed all of the probiotics in your body. You need to put in your friendly bacteria back. You know what's the very best for that? Our own distilled waters. That's the very best for that. But not going there, because I know most people can't go there, and we don't have to go there. We can do it other ways, but that is the very best way. Nevertheless, once we've created that damage in the stomach or in the organs or in, you know, the digestive system, the colon, that sort of damage, shadow energy goes in there. Shadow energy, sadness, frustration, anger, fear, that goes into your injuries. So if you've injured your hip or your knee or your Achilles or something, and you think it's because of the injury, it may have been started with the injury, but once you've got an injury there, that's where the shadow energy goes, and it becomes chronic. So you've got this chronic lower back thing, you've got this chronic shoulder thing, or you've got this tight sore spot in your, what is that? You know what that is? That's shadow energy that's become trapped into the physical body. So we've got to detoxify it, but it will only detoxify to the point, and then we've got to do the emotional work. And then when we free the emotional bit, the rest of that shit, physical bit, will come out. And the habit that's associated with it, coffee or alcohol or fatty foods or whatever else, will go away. So now when we fast, we force something to stop. I'm not eating meat, or I'm not drinking water, or I'm not eating anything that's not raw. Now that type of forced action is wonderful to identify with the energy. But until I've dealt with the emotional shit, the fast is, I'm still gonna get hungry again. I'm gonna keep getting this overtaken by this hunger for fatty foods, or overtaken by this hunger for processed foods. And I tell people, listen, try to fast during the week, relax on the weekend. Try to fast for a period and then relax, because you're gonna have to get used to this, because the emotional is not gonna go away just by like fasting. Or if it does, and it all comes out, like you said, you went 21 days, that'll force a bunch of emotional shit out. And like you said, you got uncentered. And that's what happened.
Yeah, I felt very anxious.
Anxiety is buried in there. And we got to get that anxiety out. But it's not just to fast it and let it come out, and then you go, holy fuck, what's this? And then you can't handle it. You shove it back down again. It's not healed. It's shoved down.
No.
So we have to heal.
Suppressed. Yeah.
So nobody wants to work with shadow emotions. Nobody wants to be low energy. Nobody wants to lay in bed and just cuddle and cry for a bit. But you know what? If we don't, it won't go away. You got to sit with it. You got to talk to it. You got to invite it up. And then you got to sit with it. You got to be with it. And I got to go to work, and I'm fucking feeling like shit. So what? It's a part of life. And you have to recognize that life is both. Life is not only light, only good stuff. Life has got both. It's got yin and yang. Now, if you can't see that this darker bit, this harder bit, this more challenging bit is a part of my life, if I can't embrace it and love it, and if I can't learn to sit in it and go, so what? Yeah, I got low energy. So what? It doesn't mean I don't love me. It doesn't mean I don't love my life. It doesn't mean that I'm going to end it or quit or I'm going to go pig out. It just means you have to be able to sit with it. And it may take 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 days to leave. And you may need to lay down every single chance you get. And you may be low energy for a bit, or you may need to drink coffee again for a bit. Whatever you got to do, you got to work with it. But every time it comes up and you feel it, don't shove it down. You got to let it come up. Here comes that anxiety. Oh, here it is. Okay, it's going to be anxiety with me all day today, and I'm going to learn how to love it. I'm going to be with my anxiety. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to smile in my anxiety. I'm going to do everything that I need to do with my anxious feeling. I'm going to sit in this situation, in this dynamic that makes me uncomfortable, and I'm going to smile and do my best, because that's what we got to do. We have to learn how to embrace it, because that's what we are. We are love beings. We need to meet every single aspect of our life with love. That means the shadow and the light, they need to be coming together. We need to make a unity consciousness within the self to heal. Okay?
Sit through the fire.
Sit in the fire. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not to just shove it down.
No, but that's what I say.
It's not to ignore it, and that's what we do. But it's not that. It's to actually embrace it, and then now I've got both yin and yang energies in my life, and my power goes whoop, and the body heals of all things.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot with Joe Dispenza's work. You're aware of Joe Dispenza?
Joe Dispenza, yes.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of. I'm trying to
subconscious mind.
Meditate. Yeah.
Subconscious mind.
So
subconscious mind. Right now.
Yeah, so I can. So I can hack my. So I can hack my what do you call it? And the systems.
Retrain the brain. Retrain the subconscious mind.
Yeah, but also to gain control over the endocrine system.
Excellent.
I have done Wim Hof's breath work, also to hack the endocrine system and the nervous system.
Breathing
so I can
is a
settle
huge
my
aspect
body
of it.
down.
Breath work a huge aspect of meditation. That's what the Buddha was doing, sitting under the tree. Breath work, breathing, focusing on his breath. Meditating is a part of enlightenment. So yeah, breathing is a huge part of this. But once the body is fully awakened, the breath will just naturally become full and deep. So forced breath work is wonderful too, but just like forced fasting, it's the same. Like it can help you to achieve an awareness of something, but what we need is actually for that to be happening all the time. And that won't happen until we integrate the entire human being. So it's a combination of a lot of things. Breath work's a part of it. Fasting's a part of it. Sun gazing's a part of it. Grounding's a part of it. Drinking the right water, eating the right food, it's all a part of it. Changing the thought and word, it's all a part of it. But to add to what you're talking about with Joe Dispenza, just to throw a little bit more clarity onto that for you. Joe Dispenza talks about the subconscious and the conscious mind. And I think that is a very wonderful way to understand it and a wonderful way to get started. But ultimately, if you want to talk about true and authentic, complete healing, you will need to go further than this idea. This is an introduction to the two bits of you. The subconscious and the conscious is basically talking about duality, yin and yang, two bits within you. Now, if you look at the true teaching of this is the teaching of polarity. So I encourage you to get deeply understood about polarity. This is the study of gender. I encourage you to deeply understand what that means. This is about rhythm. I encourage you to deeply understand what that means, okay? At its origins, at its root, okay? Now, these three things, if you look at what is truly taught about these three things, what is going on inside the mind is no different than polarity. It's no different than gender. Everything in three-dimensional reality has masculine and feminine. You can't get into the three-dimensional reality without a mother and a father. It's the only way to experience three-dimensional reality. Everything in three-dimensional reality has two sides, polarity, two poles. This is the law. The law of rhythm says that energy flows from one pole to the other, from one pole to the other. You can't change that. You cannot change that. So you must accept it. That is the law. Okay. Now, what's going on in the subconscious and conscious is really not subconscious and conscious. It's masculine and feminine. It's the two energies, the two poles that are always going on. Now, common times, the last 100 years, everyone has referred to this as subconscious and conscious. This is not the accurate teaching. This teaching is good to get started, but if you really want to unwind the truth, you're going to have to go deeper than this. Okay? Now, subconscious and conscious, it's really subconscious is the female mind, the creative mind. Conscious is like the disciplined mind, the manifesting mind, the I am mind. Okay, so you've got the I am mind, the masculine mind, and you have the creative mind. Okay, now, as creation has created everything this way, we need both. We need both. The female mind, if not handled by the man, will just pop off one idea after another idea. It'll be here, it'll be there, it'll be here, it'll be there. It'll be all over the place, and you'll bounce around in your life like a pinball. Not to knock on the female mind or say it's worse than the masculine mind. That's not what this is about. Neither force is better than the other. They are identical. This is the teaching. They are identical forces, differing only in degree. Just like water at 0 degrees is ice and water at 100 degrees is vapor. It's the same thing, just at degrees. Okay, so the conscious mind needs the female mind to create, and the female mind needs the conscious mind to steer it the right way. So the masculine mind must grab the female mind and squeeze her and point her in a direction to be creative over here. When you put them together, you start the energetic field. You bring the two forces within you, shadow and light together within you. Then you become the sacred three-dimensional being. The marriage, the sacred marriage of yin and yang, masculine and feminine, the embodiment of masculine and feminine inside of the being. The two forces of the three-dimensional world in which we live, the light of our sun, Father, the light of our sun, Father God, and the loving Mother Earth, the power magnetism of the earth, the two forces on which we are between. And we are the merger of those two forces within. And when we merge those two forces within, we fix all things in the life. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. Great explanation.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I read, you know, Goddard. Goddard, what's his name? Excuse me. Like I told you, I'm writing a book. So I have a lot of, I've been all over the place.
I too want to write a book. So that's what inspired me to reach out and speak with you, because I do want to write a book that is, you know, in my wheelhouse. That inspired me to contact with you, because that's what I'm thinking and talking about, is writing a book. So anyone that's, you know, reaching out, wanting to talk about a book, it's all great, because this is it. Is that we need to practice our craft, right? We all need
Yes.
to practice our skills. And when the time is right, we're called to do what it is we need to do. And I know there's a book inside of me. I know there's a book that's coming out of me eventually, when the time is right. And I'm super excited to do that when it is right. And I know when it is right, it will be right. But right now, what I have been doing the last few months is I've really been focusing on, my own healing. And
Yes.
as soon as I feel like I think I am fully healed, I think that the timing will come together. That what should be will be. So I don't want to commit to say 30 days I need to do this, or 6 weeks I need to do that, or I need to get this done by the end of the year, or I need to do it. Like I'm not living in that. I'm not going to put myself into that. I'm just going to know that that's what I want. I know that I want to do that, and I'm just going to envision that and find the right opportunity, and know that the right opportunity will arise when it's supposed to.
But I see the writing as some kind of healing, because I get to unload everything that I have within me. So and I know that I'm just providing with information. So maybe in 2-3 months I will coordinate everything together, and it will be a very successful book.
Awesome. And I'm happy to help and meet with you and talk about anything that you'd like, if I can contribute and help you in some way. I hope that I've already been helpful.
Yeah, of course. But you were you're talking about the super conscious mind when you spoke about the subconscious mind, conscious mind married together. The three lovers, subconscious mind, conscious mind becomes super conscious. You know about this?
Could use those words. Yes, you could use those words. And these words, have been changed over since the course of time. And that's why I say, go back in time and look at the original teachings. And the original teachings are polarity, gender, and rhythm. And if you understand
natural laws,
if you understand the authentic original teaching, that will change some things for you. Because in the understanding of that, it goes beyond just mind. You're going to see how polarity, gender, and rhythm apply to your entire healing process.
This book, you see what it says? It's in Swedish.
7 Live
It's Deepak. It's Deepak Chopra.
Deepak Chopra. Oh, cool. Yes, I love Deepak.
It's Deepak Chopra, and it's 7 successful laws of nature or something.
Awesome. That would be it. Deepak would know the seven laws of nature. That's it.
The 7 spiritual laws of success.
There you go. Those are the ones. Okay. So the first one is mental. The second one is as above, so below. The third one is a frequency. The fourth one is polarity. The fifth one is cause as rhythm. The sixth one is cause and effect, and the seventh one is gender. Now those 7 laws need to be understood to fully heal body and life. Those 7 laws.
7 hermetic principles.
The 7 hermetic principles. There's another name. Yeah. There's another word. You could call it that. That would be the origin. Yes. Now you're on to the right track. That's where you need to study. Study the principles. Study the principles. Know the principles. Meditate on the principles, and you will understand how it's affecting and changing and creating and manifesting and creating healing in your life.
Exactly. But have you heard about Neville Goddard?
No, I haven't heard of Goddard. Can you tell me something about him?
Goddard was a spiritual teacher in the I think it's in 40, 50, 60s somewhere in the States. And he has spoken a lot about how the conscious mind and the heart must be in a coherent state to manifest. He written a lot of books on this, so and there's also a lot of information up on YouTube about it. So I would recommend you to look up Neville Goddard.
Awesome. I will look up Goddard. Now, once you understand the origins of these 7 Hermetic principles and you realize where that information comes from and when that information comes from, you'll realize that every single person on this planet that's ever taught anything about spirit, where they got the origins from. And then once you start to understand the origins, it doesn't really matter who you follow, because once you understand the origins, you can take the origins into your own self and you can become the next spiritual teacher, right? So
I'm my own guru.
That's right. So that's why I say the 7 natural laws are from where all religion arose and where all spiritual teachings arose. And once you start to meditate on those things, right? If you want to pick up a practice, I would say first learn the 7 Hermetic principles. I would always recommend anyone to learn those first. And not just learn them, meditate on them and how they apply. Study them.
How do I meditate on them?
So pop them in your ears, buds, just like this, and listen to them for hours in stillness.
Just imprint them.
Repeat them and learn them and think about them. Repeat them and learn them and think about them, and bring them into your reality for a week. 4 weeks.
Yes.
And then stop. And then just watch. And once you've embodied the principles, then just see how they're playing out in your life. Just engage with your life with the principles.
I get you.
Start to unravel what's going on all around you using the original principles that were given to us from the beginning. And then
a question
your healing will magnify, right? You start to control your healing. Yeah.
Be the master of my own thinking.
Then you become the master of your own destiny that way, and you manifest your own healing, right?
I know that you're working on a program. I was considering myself to work on a program to launch online. Have you find your path yet, or is
that's what I'm? My program is the program that I share with all of my customers and my clients, right? So yes, I'm gaining clarity by healing myself and creating a process that I share with my customers. And once I have that fully completed, I'm going to take it from emails and Facebook posts and put it into a book and put it out as a book. But I am working through process and practicing with customers all day long. So I'm practicing that reality. And as I see that I'm able to share my truth with more clarity, and then I will be able to see that clarity come and grow around me to a greater regard and size and amplitude, then that's going to help my frequency go up. And then I will collect, I will feel, I will invite, I will interact with whatever I'm supposed to as it shows up in my space.
Yes. I heard an interesting quote about from Kyle Cease. You know who he is? Kyle Cease. He's an American comedian. He told he's also woke as us, and he spoke about when you want to manifest something beyond your current energy status, like for example, say that you have today 100 customers, but you want to get 1,000 customers. The question is, what do you have to become to attract 1,000 customers? So everything is about who am I becoming on the journey. And if it scares you, you should do it, it says. So, yeah, you just...
We have to marry that fear energy. We have to come into agreement and love and embrace that fear energy. We need to imagine that love. We need to imagine that 200 customers. We need to imagine, and we need to feel it. We need to bring ourselves to the feeling of it. We need to pick our frequency up by thinking about having that. What would that feel like?
Exactly.
Visioning what you want and feeling it into your reality. That feeling of your passion, your desire, your dream, your love, because that's what we are. We are love beings. Now, if I love this thing, if that's my goal, that's what I love. I'd love to have that in my life. I would love it. If I'm thinking and talking about what I love, I'm coming into alignment with the being that's within me. I am expressing the passion, the light that's within me. My deepest goal is coming to reality. By me thinking and speaking about it, I'm speaking about what I love. I am love. I am love. That's the masculine mind. I am love. Begin with
I have recited that I am love, I share love, I receive love for could it be like 3 years now? Three, 4 times a day.
So now stop reciting that and work on your hermetic principles for the next 6 months, and then come back to it. So you go off of one thing for a while, then you come back to it. And every time you come back to it, you get deeper. Just like when you fast. You fast and then you refeed, and then you fast and then you refeed. It's not you go 21 days and everything's cured. It's back and forth. It's rhythm. It's tick-tock. It's gender. It's polarity. It's two sides. It's yin and yang. It's not all one. It's not, I've been doing all the right things. How come I haven't got the right answer? Because it's not doing all the right things. It's not all one thing. It's both. It's both.
It's a dance.
It's a dance.
Yes. You lead and you follow. There we go.
There we go. There we go, sir. There we go, sir. I have to go to my next one. I appreciate our chat today.
Nice to talk to you, Jan.
Awesome,
grateful for your advice. I hope to speak to you again soon.
Good. We will talk.
Take care.
See you later, buddy.
Love you.
Love you, man.
Yeah. Bye.